Hi, this is Thea. Today what I have is a technique that I have mentioned in previous videos. It's called shimming. And basically these are padlock shims. They are designed to go down the shackle hole and move the locking pawls aside to allow the shackle to open. And I have a couple of cutaway locks. One I made myself. It started as an accident and I decided to autopsy the lock. So I have a Master Lock 410 lockout tagout to demonstrate one type of locking mechanism, and I have a cutaway lock, just a regular pin tumbler lock that I can use for the example. Basically, the way shimming works is, zoom in a bit so you can see what's going on. These locking pawls are what keep this shackle from just coming open. And when they are moved aside, then it allows the shackle to open. This particular one has one on both sides, but obviously that one didn't engage when I had locked it the first time. So just make sure that that is engaged on that side as well. There we go. So the way to do it when you don't have a handy access point in the front of the lock body, you use the shackle hole on the top. And you can see here there's a decent gap on this lock. And that's not super uncommon, but there are some locks that are going to be too tight to use a padlock shim. And there are a few ways to go about getting the shims. I'm sure some of you have tried and some of you have seen the soda can trick, where you just cut basically this shape out of a soda can and use it as a padlock shim. But I don't see a lot of point in that when professionally made ones are so readily available and are pretty inexpensive as well. When you're shimming, you're going to want to go with the tightest gap first. And on this lock, there isn't a lot of difference, but it also doesn't matter very much on this one because it's so sloppy on the tolerances. But if you... Oh, James has decided to join us. This is James, and he's off. So with this one, with this particular one, I would start on this side first. And you can slide it in where the gap is the largest, which in this case is right here, and then just rotate it. And you can see how that shim is just moving along the inside of the lock until it engages that locking pawl. And now that one is no longer able to hold the lock shut, so it's only held by this one. And then again, on this one, you can look for where the gap is the easiest to fit the shim into, and in this case, it's right here, and that fits right in super easy. And then again, just rotate it until it opens like that. And sometimes the shims will stop it from completely popping open on its own, but it's super easy to just pull it from there. And so that is how the shim itself works for opening a padlock. And I've also mentioned that some locks are immune to shimming. And those are the ones with the ball bearing locking mechanism like this. And this is a Master Lock Model 410 that I accidentally killed, and so I decided to autopsy it. So it was already taken apart, but the locking mechanism itself didn't have anything wrong with it. So there we go. So the half moon cutouts right on either side of the shackle are how the ball bearings interact with the shackle itself. And they go in like so, and when the lock is fully assembled, those are held in place and it doesn't allow the shackle to move. Obviously this is, there we go. All right, and so when you try to shim that, if you go down there, then that's just putting horizontal force on that cylinder that needs to rotate, so that these cutouts here allow the ball to move in toward the center. So you can't apply that kind of force with these shims. So that one only opens normally when those grooves allow the ball bearings to fall in, and then when the shackle is pulled, it just puts those into those grooves. So that is how shimming works, and how to look for a lock that can't be shimmed. Fortunately, those are getting more popular with the ball bearing mechanisms, so it is getting easier to find ones that can't be shimmed. And obviously some will be manufactured to super tight tolerances and won't be shimmable anyway, but I personally prefer not to risk it and just go with a ball bearing locking mechanism for anything that I intend to use for any kind of security purposes. So that is all I have for today. If you liked that video, go ahead and hit the like button. If you haven't already, go ahead and subscribe. And if you have any questions or comments, go ahead and leave them below in the comments section. And I will see you next week.